got nothing.
Okay, it should have sent now.
Okay. Oh, here it comes. Yeah, there. R2 told me about it. Let me see.
So fuck you.
There's I just saw it today too. This little baby drinking milk. And his dad's holding him, and he's drinking milk. He's got the bottle, and like both hands are up like this on his face. And like the mom's like, "Why do you let him drink milk like that?" He's like, "I can't stop him. Why not?"
Yeah, why not?
What else are you gonna do?
My question is, why not?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I gotta pull up the IMDb.
New documentary diddled by Diddy.
What?
It's the sequel. It's the sequel to Covered by R. Kelly.
Harry and the Diddled Hendersons.
I want to piss on you.
Oh god.
Drip, drip, drip.
There's this lady on Instagram. I can't remember her name, but she turns bathroom graffiti into songs.
Graffiti or guffiti?
Did I say graffiti? Oops, Tafiti. She turns bathroom
graffiti
into songs, and there's this one part where it's like, if Harry Potter taught us anything, it's that no one deserves to live in the closet. She's like, that's a really sweet sentiment. But underneath somebody wrote, except R. Kelly.
That's
really funny.
I like that. I like that. They're taking someone else's, proclamations and turning it into art. That's beautiful. I like that. No, that's really good.
It's good.
Oh man. Well, breaking news to all of us listening. This is going to be old news by the time this comes out, but P. Diddy just got raided.
And I've seen conflicting reports about him leaving on his jet.
Really?
Some said that the FAA grounded him, but others have said that his jet has left the country. I'm sure by the time
this comes
y'all
out,
listening to it, I'll sound like an idiot.
We're going to know more. Hey. It wasn't a jet. It was his jet ski.
Freaking moron.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, man. What do we got? You can tell me later whatever we got put on behind me. I'm going to guess at it for a while here, just based on. You think while we're talking about this, you could like drop clues in your comments about this other movie?
Yeah, I could try.
No, that'd be hilarious. Well, welcome.
I can try.
Thank you for joining us again. Another episode of Nostalgia Land. Again, we got Trey back on board with this. He's you're easing into life with the baby. It's been.
I thought you were about to tell him that he's easy on the eyes.
You're easy on the eyes. I mean, look at those. What are those? Baby blues? Is green?
Hard
I've
up
never actually
nipples.
looked. I don't think I've ever looked.
Yeah. I keep them covered with stunner shades most of the time.
Well, you and I have also been accused of having very, very slanty eyes when we smile and laugh.
I don't think anybody's accusing they're just calling the facts.
They're just like, how dare you? How dare you have that?
It's not an accusation. That's it's just a statement of fact.
It's just a fun fact.
I was observing that your eyes are very squinty.
Very when we smile, but no, but how's baby doing? Mom doing good? Everyone's surviving over there. It's getting a routine.
She got her days and nights flipped.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, she was born at like really early in the morning. So to her, it's like
she was born at night.
Party time.
Yeah. Hey, I'm here.
I'm
awake.
I was born at night, not last night. Wait, actually, you were kind of born like last night. So shut up.
It's only been like a month.
Yeah. You got it happens. It flips in. Wonder Boy.
Yep. You said drop hands.
Oh yes. Okay.
But nope.
It's
not what you think.
It's not that one.
No.
Okay. Oh man, that's good. I like this. So for those listening, we usually play a movie behind us on our YouTube channel, and it's usually just behind me. And so sometimes it's fun. I catch both Tyler and Trey. Sometimes watching the movie behind me, just ignoring whatever I'm saying. But tonight I don't know what Trey put on. So this could be you're saying Wonder Boy, so I'm assuming some kind of Jack Black, but we can keep going.
We'll keep going.
You know what they say when you assume?
Yeah. Let's what?
You make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, that's how you spell it.
I think that's a thing.
It makes more sense.
That is a thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah. No, I know it's a thing.
It's a real disease. Got doctors and everything.
Anyway, so welcome back. Thanks again for joining us as always. Happy Friday to you driving and listening to this. Today we got a special treat for you. I think this is one of the greatest sports movies of the 90s. I think this is the one that we can call an absolute gem. And Tyler is really
I know he doesn't like this movie, so that you said that is like, it's like you just driving the knife deeper in.
Oh man, here's
Dude,
what
I do a lot to get ready for these shows. And one of the things I try to do is watch each of the films that we're going to do multiple times.
At least this one was free.
Yes.
Oh shit!
There are very many that we've done that I've had to rent, and some of them I've rented 2 or 3 times when I should have just purchased the movie at that point. But,
Yeah.
But wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow is in. You're so amazed by the quality.
What a crock of horseshit this movie turned out to be. And I remember this movie fondly. Like I don't remember loving it.
Right.
But I don't remember the disdain I quite have for it.
Holy hell. It was like, wow, this movie is bad. Like this movie is.
This isn't good.
Yeah, this is not. No, it was bad.
Some people are about to get really mad when we.
I think once we finally reveal, I'll give you listeners a clue before we actually tell you what it's going to be.
One of the actors in this movie was also on Full House.
Okay. And one of the actors in this movie was also on Sesame Street.
Was it the dog?
Yes.
No shot.
Yes. Way to just throw it out there.
Yeah, he just blew You know what we're trying to do here.
You know what blew
Trey's mind so hard.
You know what blew it? Either the title of your Spotify playlist or the thumbnail of this YouTube video. So shut up.
Oh man! So yeah, and one of those actors he played a character on Sesame Street for a while, and I was really surprised when I recognized him.
The clown?
Oh my god! Yeah, the clown.
Dude, that guy's a good actor though.
Yeah.
Michael
he
Jeter.
is. Michael Jeter. Yes,
Yeah.
You got it. No. So today we're watching the incomparable, the amazing, the Academy Award nominee that should have been Airbud.
What's that from? I can't remember what that's from.
Going Airbud?
Yeah, there's like they like exclaim it in a movie. They're like Airbud.
Oh, that sounds like a.
Like
that
a
sounds like
Pauly
Shore would say, right?
Sound like a
With
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore and what's his name? Oh gosh, the blonde one, the skinny blonde one from In the Army Now.
Oh,
Dick.
Andy Dick.
Andy Dick. Thank you. I just remembered Dick. Anyways,
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Almost missed that one.
If anyone listening, ever wonders like what our our relationship was like before we started doing this podcast, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, you're listening to it.
Yeah, we would sit around in this room and we would just have these weird, quirky, kind of shitty conversations about.
There'd be a lot more
everything.
video games being played.
Yeah, which I really think we should put something classic on behind.
Shoot,
Trey.
you could put anything in this room. On.
Yeah. I mean, there are movies. There's every kind of movie, every kind of video game, every system. But if this is your first time listening, we are Nostalgia Land. I'm Matt. This is Trey, and this is Tyler. I don't know if you want to give a little hey.
Sorry, I'm looking up the thing
fine.
I had for the episode.
Oh, you're fine.
I closed it by accident.
No, so our purpose here at Nostalgia Land is we hope to remind, reflect. We hope to really like bring up some nostalgia for you, in hopes that you want to go back and rewatch these movies. You want to revisit, these television shows, these video games that we might play, and share them with your kids or the next generation. Because honestly, every like report I see on parenting now, there's so many parents who are just like, I make my kids watch 90s cartoons.
I mean,
because
of course.
They sleep better. They're better people.
Of course.
And they're like actively participating in our household.
Of course. It's either that or you like hot dog, hot diggity dog and all over the place because you're just watching the Mickey Mouse Club or whatever it's called.
No, because I really think there was something really special about the 90s era of cartoons where there was silly, crazy stupidity.
Media in the 90s.
Yes. But there was so much heart. There were episodes that really tried to teach you things.
Of course. You could watch Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step.
Yes, exactly.
You can watch any of the cartoons. G.I. Joe in the 80s would teach you at the end of this, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. I still say that crap
Calvin
all the
and
time.
Hobbes.
Yeah.
Calvin and Hobbes.
No.
Hobbes.
It's dead.
No. It's another hint to the movie going on behind us.
That's good.
Man,
He's never going to get this. He's never going to get to what movie this is.
Well, it's not like he's left-handed.
I know.
Oh,
I know. We'll keep just throwing them
it's
out.
starting to paint a picture here. Okay.
It's
All
a
right,
picture
anyways.
you're never gonna get.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay.
I would be surprised.
Okay, this is really there's obscure movies in all these folders in this room. So there's the good
Yeah.
ones, and then there's
I
Kroll.
don't know if you can see on my camera. There's a stack of binders back here. Each of them have like hundreds.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 100. Maybe not. No, that's a lot. I way over exaggerated.
Cut.
What do you think? Like, yeah.
There's
All right, let's scratch that.
There's like 5,000 movies behind me right now.
That's a lot.
So 1997 Airbud. This was starring Kevin Zegers, who I was looking him up. Like, I don't think he's really done anything terribly of note after this. He was in Dawn of the Dead. In his most recent thing, he was in The Rookie.
He was in Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, in Fear of the Walking Dead. I see that here.
Yeah, Josh.
And it had Wendy McKenna and Bill Cobbs, and then of course Michael Jeter, who also played.
Wendy McKenna's the mom.
yeah.
Wendy McKenna's the mom. Yeah.
Had an issue.
Trey, I feel like you have thoughts about
Good.
Wendy. She's good.
It's good.
She's
Nice to look at.
Yeah, easy on the eyes there.
Yeah.
Nice to look at. Hard to believe as a mother in this movie.
It's all right.
I really want to hear you expand on
she
that.
does a
actually,
good
though.
job of like embarrassing her kid.
I mean, for sure.
Like when she goes to the basketball game and like the kid's sitting on the bench and she's like, "Yay, Josh!" And the kid's like, "I'm not even in
Yeah,
yet."
Mom, I suck.
I'm just warming this up here.
Yeah, I'm on the bench.
My job is to keep the lunch warm. But so this movie, this is Airbud. This is Airbud. So how best do you summarize this movie? A dog is lost and then found, and then you discover it can kind of play basketball.
Yes. It likes to knock a basketball around
If
that
you,
happens to go in a
if you
hoop.
don't guard it, it can play basketball.
Right. All right.
If you don't treat it like a dog,
If
it's
you
not
let
going to
it-
go very
Hey,
far.
hey, ain't no rule. Dog says dog can't play
Ain't no
basketball.
rule said dog can't play basketball.
Weirdest line in the whole movie that
He's on the
stays
team.
with everybody.
He's on anyway, so this movie starts out, and honestly, it was surprising to see Michael Jeter, because Michael Jeter, he's an amazing actor. He was in a couple of movies in the 90s. One was with Robin Williams, and then the other, I think he was in Kingfish.
He was in Patch Adams. With
and he
Robin.
was in Patch Adams as well. And he plays.
God, what a depressing movie.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But he also plays Mr. Noodle, and so it's which is Elmo's sidekick in Elmo's
I
world.
was like, no.
No, and I know Mr. Noodle. I know Mr.
I
Noodle.
thought you meant in this movie. I'm like,
No,
he's
no,
not
no,
the one doing
We're,
it.
we're gonna teach you
No.
improv. We're gonna teach you yes and.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you don't go back on what he says. You just go,
God.
okay, cool,
But he
right
was-
on,
yeah,
brother.
All right, just keep rolling. Whether I'm wrong, whether I'm right.
Or whether you know what he's talking about or not, we just keep it going.
But like you see his credits, he's been in Elmo. I mean, even up until
I don't wanna know about him being in Elmo.
2007. Hey, keep it.
Nope.
Keep it PG.
Yes, and
I'm just kidding. Keep going.
yeah, and
Hey, there's always somebody in Elmo.
Someone's
Or
always
Elmo would just be laying there on the
Man,
table.
Yep, there's always a hand up there somewhere.
see that.
Okay, it's getting worse.
See
Okay.
that meme with Elmo where it's like la 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 Elmo, and then it cuts to like an Elmo in Times Square, like covered in snow, and it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hello darkness, my friend.
Dude, I can't. It's one of the podcasts that I listen to regularly. Maybe last podcast on the left where they
Yeah.
were talking about, because they all used to live in New York.
Yeah.
And they're talking about like, yeah, if you see Spider-Man or Elmo in Times Square, like, don't take a picture with
Yeah,
them.
they'll
Don't.
try to
'Cause
charge you
don't.
money.
they'll hound you for
They will chase
$5
you.
and
And
Yeah.
then you'll get beat up by Cookie Monster.
Yeah. This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare.
Shit.
oh my god, it's a 7-foot tall bird.
Yeah.
Nobody knows if it's male or female or
Here's
what
a
kind of
smack
bird it is.
bird.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but
we
this
can
mo-
always go back to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. You can always go. Dave Chappelle's so
Harvard.
relevant to everything
Yeah,
we do.
the 7 degrees of
smack,
Kevin Bacon has now become the 7 degrees of Dave Chappelle.
Of Dave Chappelle. How do we tie this back to a bit he's probably
Did you
done?
guys see, by the way, speaking of nostalgia,
Please.
that they've greenlit Happy Gilmore 2?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Adam Sandler's going to be in
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. It's not going to be
No,
like
it's
it's not going
not-
to be like Happy Gilmore before Happy
No.
Gilmore, like they did with Dumb and Dumber 2.
No, but
No.
golf is one of those movies that like you could do it because like
Dude,
you can play
have you
golf
ever
till you're like
seen-
80.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen that video of is it Jack Nicholas? Right?
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah,
golfer?
Nicholson is
I
the actor.
always do
Nicholas
that.
is the golfer.
But so it's Jack Nicholas, and there's a guy, and he's got this incredibly long putt, and he's like, "There's no way."
Oh.
And he goes,
Yeah.
"He's like, yeah, you just do it. You want me to show you how to do it?" And just walks up, and he's like, "Whack!"
Yeah.
And that ball rolls forever. It's like, bloop, right in the hole. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, so you are like the best ever? Okay, cool. Yeah,
okay.
nice.
Yeah. Oh, you just win golf.
Yeah.
You just win golf.
Him
You're
and
done.
Tiger before they figured out what was in his secret stuff.
Yeah. This is his penis. Before his wife figured out what his secret
That's
stuff
not what was in Elmo, right?
No.
That's not,
Okay,
that's
good
not,
lord.
okay. That's a talented
we,
one.
we, we alluded to it. You just went and said it.
I'm gonna jump on that boat.
We're just rolling innuendo over here.
Sometimes I hold back on this because I know some family members are listening, but sometimes I don't.
Just gotta be yourself. Just gotta be
There's
yourself.
inside words and there's outside words. That time the inside words came outside.
Yeah. That's what we call intrusive thoughts, honey.
You let them win.
And you just let
And they won.
let 'em win. So the movie starts with Michael Jeter. He's this crazy
Norman
like,
Snively.
yeah, Norman Snively.
He's a clown.
He's
And
a
it's-
children's party clown. That's like the
Yes.
dirtiest.
He does
looking party.
weddings.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Says
right.
it on the side.
He does do weddings. I forgot.
Out the gate, they want you to know this is not a good person.
Yeah.
This is not somebody you
Yeah,
trust.
he
Guy's
gets out of
trash.
his truck and the dog is in a kennel in the back.
Yeah.
And he rolls up a piece of newspaper. He's like, "Don't make me use this," and like whacks the kennel with
Yeah.
the newspaper.
Oh my gosh, dude. Is immediately I was just like heartbroken for this animal. Like to put up and like just for the animal, just not even to be going through the act, but just to witness him as his owner.
Yeah.
Just to be like,
Yeah.
oh God.
And so
I like
he,
that they never ever once show him actually hit the
Yeah,
dog
that'd be
with the
bad.
newspaper.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Yeah.
The dog only ever gets hit once in the game, in the movie, and it's when he gets fouled in one of the basketball.
Yeah,
Really
by the worst child ever.
It's not even his fault. His dad's a piece of crap.
Oh, if you want to know who's going to play Hitler too, it's this kid. It's the one that tackles the golden retriever.
Hey, you know what? Hurt people hurt people.
He was
All right.
he was just trying to play defense, man.
Hurt people, hurt people.
That's right.
What's so funny about this movie is like there's so little to it. It's like it's 40 minutes.
You know what doesn't make this movie is so ridiculous. Like, hey, this kid's dad died.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
He's got a dog. What?
Cool.
Where'd the dog come from? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody. Oh, but when the mom hits a dog kennel with her car. So
That
after the
got
party,
me.
Yeah, well,
after
okay,
the,
wait,
they
wait.
do
So-
the party.
So he goes to this party and he sucks as a clown. Like
terrible.
he
Terrible.
can't. Like he's trying to do all the like slapstick stuff where like he falls over and none of it's hitting.
Yeah.
And then finally
Until
he's
he
like,
actually falls over.
yeah. And then finally he's like, okay. And like you can tell he's trying because he's dripping. It's
Yeah,
sweat
he's
by the
flop
time
sweating.
Thing's over.
Yeah.
But anyway, basically he just takes out tennis balls and just starts chucking them at this golden retriever. The golden retriever just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just doing what a golden retriever does.
Exactly.
Nothing about it was super special. It's just
other
like,
than the
that's
fact
what
that
a dog does.
that it didn't run off when it got the first ball. But
Well, and he is close
And
to that dog.
chucking them
and he
things
is
at that dog.
beating
really
those
is,
things at
yeah.
that dog.
Yeah.
He's trying out for minor league.
Yeah. So and then he gives him. He's like, what now for the grand finale? And he pulls out like a big red dodgeball.
Yeah.
And he throws it at the dog, and the dog hits it right back into his face. Which like, the dog's like, "What do you think was gonna happen?" And he falls over into the cake,
Yeah.
and then everybody starts screaming, and the mom's all pissed off, and then he gets thrown outside, and he's like, "I hate being a clown." And
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
at
yeah.
like this huge mansion.
He
So they
hasn't
have,
even
like,
left.
because they have like this giant water fountain that looks like the Westcott fountain.
Yeah.
Florida State just goes like starts washing himself off. in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When I first watched it, I was like, "What the f is this guy do?" Oh, he's cleaning
Oh,
himself.
yeah.
Like, why is he just randomly
Yeah,
walking over
he's
and
just
getting
hanging
in a
out.
fountain?
He's just hanging out.
He's like, "I'm tired." Sits
cracks
down
a
in the
beer.
water.
The
He
way
just
he-
cracks a
yes.
beer and sits down in the water.
The way he does it, it's like, he's done this before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not the first time
this
he's
is
cleaned
not
He's
himself
like, I
off at
hate,
a fountain.
I hate kids and I hate birthday parties.
It's
I
like,
hate
why are you a
being
clown?
a clown.
Yeah, nobody made you be a
Be
clown.
a clown.
Not one
And
person.
nobody made you turn your pickup truck into the creepy mobile.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a giant clown head on top of the most piece of crap pickup truck you've ever seen.
It reminds me of Sweet Tooth from Twisted
Oh,
Metal.
yeah.
Yes.
Except his head's not on fire.
But like,
And it's not awesome like Twisted Metal was.
but like,
Dude,
I
that
mean,
game
this guy.
scared the bejesus out of me as a
So
little
good.
kid.
What, Twisted Metal?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like at the end of Twisted Metal, you get like those cat's paw wishes. So
Oh.
because they're granted by Satan.
Yeah. And then they.
So it's like I want everybody in the world to know my face. He's like, you got it.
You
And he
do.
like stretches his face across the world, and it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
ew.
Any of you guys ever see the movie that they came out with? The
No,
Twisted
I
Metal?
heard it's
Metal
pretty
movie?
good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was
Did
it a
come
movie
out?
or a show?
I thought it was a movie.
Maybe
It's a movie.
It's
I
on,
didn't really
I think it was on
Paramount?
streaming or something.
It was on Paramount.
Yeah. I heard it was like.
The Falcon's
I don't think
in
it's
it.
like a good
Right.
movie, but it's like it's entertaining. I heard
I
it
like
was
watching those.
I
The
heard it
Falcon's
was
in
totally
it.
worth it.
The Falcon. Yeah.
Anthony
with
Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. Yeah. But yeah. So this guy, he looks like he clowns, in the public view, but then he definitely
Cocaine.
kills and
Nah,
murders
he
like
can't afford
teenagers.
Meth.
Like, yeah.
There you
meth,
go.
Yeah.
He's cooking it.
Yeah.
It's the suit
He's
of
making them at night.
Jesse
Dad.
Pinkman.
He's making him at night. Yeah.
That's Mr. Pinkman.
Oh, that's just his dad. He's clowning during the day, but he's definitely making meth and murdering teenagers by lakeside cabins at
That's
night.
right.
Like
Where
that's
they-
what he does.
They're in Minnesota.
I don't know.
I'm assuming because like the Timberwolves and like Minnesota Timberwolves.
I assumed.
Maybe.
And they're up north because it's cold like 3/4 of this movie because all you're
yeah.
seeing is like the dog's breath and then the kid's breath.
It's
Yeah.
like fall forever.
Yeah.
No. They're in the Pacific Northwest. They're like in Washington because they were pointing out the mountains and stuff. Yeah. But I mean, it's fine.
Just kidding.
I just remembered
They don't tell
that
you.
detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh man, to be a golden retriever with a white family. Gosh, that looks cozy. That looks like the coziest place you could
Nailed
ever
it.
be. Oh, jeez.
Well, then when he's leaving the party, he throws the dog in the back, and
Yeah.
he's for some reason it's the dog's fault, I guess, because he knocked him into the cake and
Yeah, it's
everything.
his
He's going to take him to the pound right now, and
he's got a car phone in this piece of crap pickup truck.
that was it. Yes.
Yeah.
He can't fix the oil leaking and like he's burning.
There's like a door.
burning.
There's like a door that fell off.
Yeah.
But yeah, later when he goes to open it, just falls off.
Yeah, that's
No,
what it is.
but he's got a car phone that
Yeah, and
can
he
reach
can't.
people.
He can't close the tailgate apparently.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the dog in the carrier in the back. Well, anyway, the dog is in the carrier and
Yeah.
he like runs over a bump, and for some reason it makes the carrier jump out of the bed of the truck and land on the ground.
Basically leap. Yeah.
And then a moving truck barely misses as it goes around. When you actually watch it,
Yeah.
it slowly drives past, like plenty of time to just go around it, but leaves enough gap so the mother doesn't see it.
It's their
Yeah.
moving truck.
It is their moving
their
truck.
moving-
So
yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
And then she hits this obvious pet carrier crate, knocks it over, and then she's like, "What is that? What is
was
that,
that?
box doing?" And then,
What?
and they just drive
Where?
off.
Was it empty at that point?
No.
Had the dog already gotten out?
When it got knocked over, that's when it opened. Which, if you know anything about those crates, that's not how they open.
My favorite part
You
of
gotta
that-
press down on two things at one time and open the door.
That's one of my favorite parts of that movie, though, because she hits the brake and they hit it, and then she's like, "Is everybody okay? Everybody okay?" And his little sister in the back just goes, "No!"
Yeah, and starts screaming. Yes.
But the kid, our hero in this movie, saw what they hit.
Yeah.
Saw it like looking back in the rearview mirror.
But his dad died.
says nothing.
Yeah, his dad died.
Yeah,
His
but
dad
life-
died.
life
She's not
sucks.
talking.
Dead dad pass.
Yes.
Dead dad pass throughout like the first 30 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
I don't always like John Oliver.
Okay.
I think he's funny, but I think sometimes it's like whatever. But he does these like online vignettes for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Yeah.
And he does a whole segment on Airbud
He does.
where he talks for
really?
like, it's like 8 minutes, 10 minutes long. And
He just rants on
there's
it.
no point to it at all. He just wanted to talk about Airbud. It's really actually hysterically funny.
He got like fall down drunk before.
I don't know, but it's super funny. And
It's like-
he keeps talking about it like, yeah, and his dad's dead. He keeps like going back to it like over and over again. And it's like, that's exactly how I felt watching the movie. Like, his dad's dead.
His dad said.
Like, yeah, oh, he's a shitty kid. Oh, his dad died. Okay. Oh, he never talks. Dad did. Okay, got it.
Well, like,
It's like one of those old timey baseball announcers. Like, and here's Josh Graham, and his dad's dead.
in case you didn't know, his dad was dead. But
died in that experimental.
Yeah, what?
yeah, he's a test pilot.
plane?
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
newspaper clipping. I don't even think they talk about the test pilot. Like,
No, did you
I
see
think
it?
it's only in print.
I think it's like real estate ads. Have you seen that? That like the everything wrong with person will be like, this is actually an ad for.
Oh yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing. Like
He'll-
if you actually stop the video
He'll freeze
and watch,
frame it. He'll
yeah.
freeze frame it and read the newspaper
It has
articles.
nothing to
and
do.
he's like, this is actually a article about the housing crisis in 1993. Like,
It has nothing to do with his dad. And like
Yeah.
the first blurb is maybe about him, and then the rest of it is absolute nonsense. And it's hilarious. Actually, I paused it because I heard about that from Everything Wrong.
Yeah.
With.
well, then they moved to a new town because his mom got a new job selling napkins. I guess is what she
Yeah.
does.
That's
She's,
for
she's a
drugs.
napkin pusher.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the napkins go to Colombia and the shipment
Bolivia.
goes to Bolivia by accident.
Yep, because
Which
that's where,
napkins?
because his dad actually was shot down.
Over Colombia.
This movie gets a lot better if his mom's a kickback.
Yeah, coming out of
If
Bogota.
she's like pushing cocaine for a
Yeah.
living, that's
What's
how
the-
she's affording this house.
What's the lady that Sofia Vergara played on that?
Oh, yes.
Modern Family and Modern Family.
No,
No, not Modern Family. The new thing she's in.
Yeah. Where she's like the drug kingpin that was actually here in
Yes, it
Miami,
was.
and there was the big shootout at Dayland like back in the 80s.
Oh, I thought you were going to say recently. I was like, what?
No, this was like big time. This was like during the Cocaine Cowboys days.
Griselda.
Yeah.
Griselda. She's
It's actually
playing
super
Griselda.
dope. Like,
Griselda Fish.
I heard she's getting sued actually because the family that it's about
yeah.
is suing them because they don't like the way it was portrayed.
did you hear what the son said?
No, what did he say?
That his mother was a beautiful woman who was regarded as like a sex symbol, and Sofia Vergara like destroyed her image. I'm like,
I'm
have you ever
sorry?
seen pictures? I
Yeah,
don't
but-
want to cross you, but
No.
Sofia Vergara is a lot
Yeah,
prettier
but
as a
didn't-
woman.
Much prettier.
Didn't they make her like really ugly in that movie?
Well, they put like
They
a
could
nose
have
on her.
They could have like
done worse.
punched Sofia Vergara in the face and broken everything, and she would still look better than the woman she's portraying.
It's yeah. That's a hard.
She was like the original
to,
Still be
Rosie O'Donnell.
still be busting lights out. You know what I mean?
Dude, the Theo Von thing where he's like reading this. I forget what show it is, but they're asking him. He has like a card.
yeah.
And he's like, "What fictional character do you think you could beat in a fight?" And he's like, "I think I could take Mask. You know that movie Mask, and it's like the Elephant Man."
oh,
And he's like, "I think I could take him or Rosie O'Donnell." And they're like, "Rosie O'Donnell's a real person." And he's like, "That's what that's up to you." Or like, "That's what
That's your opinion.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
your
remember exactly
opinion.
what he says. Or
That's
something
up
like
to
that, where
you.
it's like that. It's to each his own, or something like that. It's like, what the hell? He's so weird.
That's funny as hell.
But okay, so one of the biggest problems that I have with this entire movie,
okay.
the mother is trying so hard to figure out how to get him out of his shell and get him back to his life because, you know, dead dad. And he's so quiet and so depressed because his dad died. And then he finds this dog.
Yeah.
And the dog totally brings him out of his shell.
Yeah, she's like-
"We can't keep it. No dogs." Like, what?
No. Yeah, she's really against it.
Your
out the gate.
horribly depressed son is showing signs of life for the first time since his dad died.
He's showering first of all.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is going to
With the
school
dog.
happily.
Yeah.
He is doing his thing, keeping it real while keeping it safe.
But not
And-
keeping it real safe.
No, not keeping it real safe.
'Cause
And she
he
is
had
like,
a-
"Oh, it makes you happy? Gotta
Yeah.
kill it."
He had a hairdryer.
Dead dad.
He had a
Dead dad.
hairdryer awful close to that bathtub filled with water.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I did notice that. I was like, "Hey, buddy, that's gonna be dead kid and their dog." On
Yeah,
top
but the
of
way he
dead
finds
dad.
this dog is like banana sandwiches because like he likes basketball, but only with the Harlem Globetrotter basketball.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
That
know you
was his
said
dad.
I know you said banana sandwiches to like to be like it's crazy, but banana sandwiches are delicious. So I was like, the way he finds his dog is delicious.
Oh, he uses
It kind of is.
he uses snack packs. That's
Yeah, the
delicious.
snack packs. There
True.
you go. Yeah.
Only vanilla.
But he finds this
This
like
movie's very white.
he except his basketball.
Right? I was going to go there too, but okay.
Okay.
So he finds like an abandoned church that like apparently is this tiny church on like a lake.
On the most gorgeous setting.
Scenic lake.
And he
you've ever
finds
seen.
this broken down basketball court in the back, and he's like just kicks down a fence, and he's like, "Oh, look, lake!"
Yeah,
Real
because
estate.
that's what I would do. You know, you
Yeah.
have a fenced-in basketball court, so you're going to kick
Gotta
down the
kick it
fence
down, baby.
so that the ball could go down the hill into the lake.
Hey. It's free real estate.
Okay.
It's free real estate.
Yeah, he just walks into this place and immediately assumes this is mine now.
It's
Dead
like the
dad.
squatters' rights.
Dead
If he's
dad.
there for 30 days.
Yeah.
Nobody
Oh
could-
yeah, that's right. No one.
He
caught
had
him.
his mail
Did you see
sent there,
the-
so he's fine.
Not in Florida. Did you see that, Sheriff?
No.
Where he's like,
what?
somebody tries to break in your house, shoot him.
Okay.
That's what we want you to do. It'll teach them. They won't. Yes. This is fantastic. So many places around this country are now like, well,
You
it's
learn
their
the
house
easy way or
now.
the hard way.
And in
house
Canada,
now.
they're telling you to put your keys by the front door because when somebody breaks into your house, they're really looking for the keys to your car. So just make it easier for them to get the keys to
No.
your car.
No.
And in Florida, they're like, if they knock on your door and it's dark, just kill them.
Okay. Thanks, Florida. Yeah. Well,
we had a guy from the city come to feed us to present us with a
fetus.
like a citation for not pulling.
Oh, that's a lot different.
It's a lot different than being fed.
Yeah. Well, fuck. To give us a citation because like when they when they renovated our house, they didn't like pull a permit to paint the roof, which is like the craziest shit ever. That you need a permit to make your roof a different color.
You need a permit to pee in a pot in major cities.
He came to the door and we didn't recognize who it was, so we didn't open the door. And the guy goes out to get back in his car, and I thought he left something on the door.
So then you fed him?
No, yeah, I was like, well, I shouldn't have because this guy's very fat.
You asked him about his dead dad?
Let a trail of snack packs.
Ooh, piece of candy. So he goes to get out of the car after I checked the door and there's nothing there. He's like, excuse me, sir. And I was like, and the guy's like, yeah. And I just slammed the door.
You were like me, and you just closed the door.
Me, and he goes, yeah, and I go, no. Close the door.
Yeah, like, what am I gonna be helpful to you? You just gave me a citation because my roof is painted.
They're complaining about a new roof. Just wait a year; it'll be a different color. It's Florida. Like you think the sun just tickles everything? No. Just wait. I've left papers in cars, and the sun has literally burned the ink off of them.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know what they are anymore.
But
we have these collector cans, like soda cans.
Yeah,
and they'll be like. From like the Atlanta Olympics in like '96,
yeah,
you know, the Marlins inaugural season, stuff like that.
94.
And you go and they're like sitting on the windowsill in my brother's room, and you go and you grab them and they're empty.
They've evaporated.
Shut up, really?
Yeah.
That's a weird science thing.
Still closed, but evaporated.
That's
like it's not like perfectly
like,
sealed, I guess.
Well, it's like science with magic, and that also makes you not want to have Coke now because they're not perfectly sealed. They're just leaking out everywhere.
What are you gonna do?
Whatever.
No, it's aluminum. They can go through that.
All right, so this movie starts. It's got
Science.
three. Yeah, but like
Science.
Okay, dead dad and science.
So he finds the basketball court, and he leaves, and he hears like something in the bushes. And so he decides
like the whole bushes rattle. I'm like, if that happens, I'm out of here.
And he finds like a piece of the clown costume that he saw the dog wearing when they hit it.
And that he didn't mention.
So he just opens a snack pack and leaves it on the floor and then goes to play basketball on the other basketball hoop. And the dog walks out and he goes to touch it and the dog's like, bye.
Yeah.
Mine. And then it leaves.
The only experience he has with people is a terrible clown boy who beats him with paper.
Fair.
Well,
so you have dead dad and bad parent.
Yeah. Dead dad, bad parent.
Bad dog parent.
Bad dog parent. Yeah, that's one. But I kind of took it, and here's me reading into this more than I should because it's Airbud.
Sure.
I kind of took it as this kid
finds his dad in the dead dog. Wait,
no,
wrong.
not that. Not the dead dog.
His dad.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
It is his dad. Yeah, no.
But I said it wrong.
It's like Jack Frost.
I pulled a Willy
found
Wonka.
his dad in the dead.
Yeah, I pulled a Willy Wonka. Wait, stop, reverse it, flip that.
Flip that.
Yeah.
Scratch that. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, Lord. Found his dog in the dead dad.
I said he found his dad in the dead dog. Okay.
Oh.
So you were saying?
What was okay? Yeah, sorry. Yes. So, okay, I kind of took that this kid was like rebuilding his life by rebuilding because the picture they have with him and his dad is they're playing basketball,
right?
And so he finds this broken.
On what looks like the exact same hoop.
Yeah, it does look like the exact one.
It's got like the chain net on it.
Yeah, well, that's how you play. You play with chain nets.
Not him. He replaces them with freaking felt ones.
Does he?
It pisses me off.
At the end? Does he?
No,
when he's redoing it.
Oh, I thought he kept the chains. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I thought it was him like repairing himself. Was him repairing this
broken down
basketball court, and that was supposed to be his character arc going through it. And the dog is a dog, and it shows up, and it's there.
It's
like
a replacement for his dad.
I just don't know if we would have just gotten to the same. Yeah. Would we have just gotten to the same ending with these characters without the dog?
I don't think so.
Did we need the dog?
No, because they needed an extra player.
No, he needed somebody to practice with.
They stacked this roster with 6 kids for a 5-man team.
Yeah.
No,
we got one
the
extra.
problem is Larry transferred.
Oh yeah, Larry does
because he got taken out.
benched.
Yeah, so
okay.
He goes to middle school and he wants to play basketball, but he doesn't. Yeah, he's in middle school.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a nice middle school.
Yeah, and who nobody cares this much.
In movies.
Nobody cares this much about middle school basketball. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Right now, no one's showing up.
Nobody has
games.
a state tournament for middle school basketball. You play 6 games. 2 on the road, 4 at home, and then your season's over, and you have a party, and that's it.
You know who's there? You and your parents.
Yeah,
if they don't work,
and maybe the one kid in your school that plays tennis and wants to come hang out with the basketball.
Yeah,
kids.
because he's like, I don't have friends.
He's
It's
like
a solo sport.
He's like, tennis, I play by myself.
Yeah, but this town covers their middle school basketball with newspaper articles. Like
newspaper
front
articles,
page.
TV.
Yeah.
Are you sure they're not in Minnesota? Where the Mighty Ducks are covered in the
Probably the
paper?
same. No, basketball's really big in
Kind of
Washington.
Mickey Mouse organization names the Ducks.
Do you remember covering the Mighty Ducks? And it's like, why are they
Yeah.
in the paper?
No,
like
they
front
can't.
page
They can't.
news.
They
This is
can't
the
be in
news.
Minnesota because this would have never gotten news because
Yeah,
hockey's
that's
so
true.
big.
Because the Mighty
Yeah.
Ducks were huge.
about
You're fair enough.
basketball in
Fair
Minnesota.
enough.
You gotta-
Charlie
you gotta-
Conway's
Yeah,
going
exactly.
breakaway.
That's
Him and
right.
Adam
1, 2, 3,
Banks are
triple
gonna.
D.
They redid the lines. And Adam Banks gonna be on the Ducks.
Yeah, and the lapel.
Yeah.
There you go. Pop my collar.
So he tries out for the basketball team, but like not really, because he just kind
he
of
just
sits there and
stands
watches.
there.
No, he doesn't
He
stand
doesn't
there.
do
Sits
anything.
in like the top of the bleachers
That's
and
right.
just kind of watches them play.
This is still like dead dad time, though.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
I'm depressed.
Yes.
I'm depresso espresso right now.
But I have
Yes.
Yes. thought that the coach at the end of that game thought this kid has special needs or something,
No,
and that's why
Well,
they were like,
that coach had special
No, they-
needs. What is it with all these children movies
Coach
where
is
it's
a
like,
jackass.
yeah, these like, hey, it's a coach. Find a terrible person.
Yeah.
Don't play the coach.
find the worst person we have
Hey,
in town. Oh, there
fine.
he is.
Who's the drunk guy? He's the coach.
It's not
Yeah.
worth winning
If
if
you
you can't
can't
win big.
You know
Not
what? We
worth
couldn't
eating.
get the
You
clown
can't eat
that yells
something.
at his dog in the driveway, and we all have to pretend that we don't hear him yelling at his
Yeah,
dog in the
it's true.
driveway. He wasn't available. We got the second
He was
guy.
clowning around.
Yeah, we got the guy who beats his wife.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bring him in. He's going to be coach. Oh, perfect.
But so the coach is like, I need a manager. And
Yeah.
any other middle schooler would be like, no.
No.
Yeah.
But he's like,
He never says a word.
But he's like, I don't have a dad.
Yeah. He's
Dude.
like, Dad's dead.
That's it.
Needs some guidance.
So
Jeez.
Actually,
the coach literally says, like,
this
do you
movie-
want to be the manager? It sucks. You got to show up first, leave last, wash their underoos, jock straps. You got to clean their butt cracks for them.
Jock straps. Oh.
Yeah, you got to take care of their business, and
It'll-
then
Jeez,
what
dude.
you want to do it? The kid's just like, and he's like, all right, see you tomorrow.
He doesn't say anything.
and he shows up.
Yeah. He just shows up for the job. He doesn't say anything.
You
He's
can't
on the
even
line for
you
like
can't even
40
blame
minutes.
the coach because he shows up.
Yeah, it's true.
So
I think like his first line is like he randomly sees like the only black guy in town
Yeah,
and
who's the
decides
janitor?
No.
I think he's an old basketball
no, this is
player.
what happens. He's doing the laundry, which is right next to the janitor's like
Yeah,
office.
in this
And
enormous warehouse. of a
This
school.
movie
In the basement.
for how bad this movie is, taught me use cold water. Come out on miniaturized if you don't. So if you're ever watching stuff, use cold water.
Use cold water. Yeah, but he sees this.
So he
tall
goes in his office
janitor and decides,
in the back of his like closet in there is a Knicks jersey, like a 1950s Knicks. So he runs home and he opens his dad's like old school
Dad.
basketball cards.
You have to preference
And
it. You won't know.
And
You gotta let
starts
people know.
like going through the basketball cards and he finds the guy with the same number and
Yeah.
it kind of looks like a younger version. Arthur.
I'll look him up. Combe or something like that.
Hobbs, no.
Cobbs. Bill Cobbs.
Cosby.
William Cobbs. Bill Cobbs. COBBS is the one. Anyways.
I have the IMDb open.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
looking
have
at
to
it right
look for
now. But Arthur Cheney
Arthur Cheney,
yeah.
that's
is
it.
the actor. Great actor.
No, is the
No,
character
sorry.
that
Yeah.
he's playing.
He's a character.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
But
Bill
he-
Cobbs.
Bill
He-
Cobbs is the actor,
Bill
Yeah.
Cobbs. Okay.
not Cosby. Cobbs.
So he approaches him and says, you know, can I have an autograph? And he's like, you think this is me?
He's like, oh, that guy
Yeah.
died a long time ago.
Dad. Just like my
That
dad.
is it. Guys,
That would have
It
made
is-
it better if he was like
Dad.
just like my dad.
I gotta go. I got grilled cheese sandwiches to make. It's getting dark.
Gosh. So
there's-
anyway, he finds out that he's not him or whatever,
Yeah.
and so the hotshot kid on this basketball team's name is Larry,
Yeah,
Oh,
total
God,
dweeb.
let's-
and basically. Like their job on the team is to get the ball to Larry. Like that's it. He was the leading scorer.
Yeah.
He was the leading scorer last
his
year.
dad makes that comment that I'm like, I've heard that comment so many times.
Why are you taking my kid out? That
And he's
one?
like, he's playing like he's the only man on the team. And the guy says, he is the team.
Yeah.
I can't tell
Well,
you
that's-
how many sporting events I've been to. As
That's
a kid.
later.
slap you
So
in the
they
face.
start. So they start.
Too bad Dad's not dead.
Yeah. So these two twins that he has on his team move.
Yeah.
Right,
And they
the
needed-
other black kids
Yeah.
in the movie.
They need an extra player.
Yeah.
So he holds a tryout, and the janitor puts a flyer in Josh's locker.
Yeah, because he gives the janitor all the flyers.
He's like, do you know what lockers belong to which kids? And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Sure.
I have a list.
Oh, creepy.
And he's like, I'm good at my job.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
My name's P. Diddy. You didn't know?
Oops.
I'm aware.
So he puts one in Josh's locker, and he's like, I got this special flyer in my locker. And he's like, well, it wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
hey, screw you, dude.
It's like the worst thing you say to a kid. Like, why would he do that? His dad's dead.
Yes. I was just going to say.
His dad's dead.
This kid's dad
So
died.
he
Testing
tries
planes.
out, and he fakes out Larry in the tryout.
Because that's
And-
hard.
And then, boom, you're on the team, baby.
You know how you
Dude.
fake out Larry in that
You go-
movie? You
you go,
dribble.
Huh?
Yeah, you're like, oh, the ball's bouncing. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You mean you walk at a normal
Yeah,
pace?
Larry's the James Harden to this league. There's
Yeah.
no defense.
Did you see the other day? I don't know when it happened, but James Harden closed out on Chris Paul shooting a three, and
Yeah,
they're
he
on the
passed him
same
the
team.
ball. Yes.
Sick, dude.
He threw him the ball and then immediately ran to guard
He's like,
him.
"Samesies."
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Samesies.
Keep going
Wait,
on.
they're not on the same team right now.
It must be an old clip.
Yeah,
though.
it's
Yeah.
probably a clip of him on the Rockets.
But it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, but it's like there's actually some clips recently of Harden and just like, what are you doing, dude?
because he's with Russell Westbrook now
He
in
doesn't care.
in where are the Clippers? They
In
play for the
Fee?
Clippers now.
So
I was gonna say Fila, but they're not in Philadelphia no more.
they're in field. Well, so remind me again how he discovers. Okay, so
So he
he's
makes the
cleaning
team.
up. He makes the team. He's cleaning up the basketball court, and then he's randomly playing with the dog.
Okay, so they're at the
No,
they're at
Yeah.
the secret basketball court in the secret garden.
And he's
secret.
He's trying to decide
he's
if he
playing
wants to
with the
play
dog.
basketball.
He's
No,
playing.
yeah.
He's playing with the dog, and he's bouncing the ball, and the dog's biting at it and hitting it back to him.
Yeah.
and then they wrestle over it because the dog did several times in this movie.
should have popped a basketball.
Bites down hard,
should've
and this
popped-
ball is obviously not full of air. But
No, but
then he
anymore.
picks it right up and just starts
But
bouncing
the,
it.
the way he figures out he can play is he's trying to decide if he should try out for the
Right.
team, and he's like, "I wish my dad was here." You can say it if you
Dad.
want. There it is. The lightning strikes twice. Lightning strikes again. So he's like, "No, I don't want to play. I don't want to play." And the dog keeps trying to play because the
That's
dog's
right,
like, "Ball."
yeah.
And he's like, "Go fine, you play." And he throws it over his shoulder. And the
Yes.
dog makes the shot, and he turns around.
Yeah, all he hears is the.
Of the good thing he made it with nylon.
Yeah, well,
No,
could have heard
you
the.
heard the chain.
chain.
It would have
Yeah.
been hard
Best
for me to
sound.
make the noise
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. But he turns around, you see the net moving, and the dog's just standing there like, I did that.
Yeah.
Little does he know the dog actually jumped up there and took a shit through the net. He's like,
That's what this movie did to your
But,
weekend,
yeah,
isn't it?
totally.
That's what-
Like
But-
a whole week of my life.
So then you get the
And
whole.
last week we did Space Jam.
we're 2 for 2 for
Yeah.
Tyler.
So then
2
you
for 2.
get the whole like the kid brings the dog home, cleans it up.
Yeah.
Bathroom.
What, the shit that he took through the net?
No.
Oh, the dog.
yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Hilarity ensues.
And he calls him Buddy.
yeah, buddy.
we can
'cause
start calling
it's his
the dog
only
Buddy. It is. And it brought him out of his funk from his dead dad.
He's no longer. He's just espresso. He's no longer.
Yeah,
depressed
he's not depressed anymore. Except his mom is trying real hard
to make him that.
to put him back in that.
To put him back in the
corner.
depresso
She
espresso.
wants to
She
put
gives, like,
baby
a-
in the corner.
She puts a
Nobody
bunch of
puts baby in the
ultimatums
corner.
on him and stuff. That she was like, "You taking care of it, and if he doesn't find
No.
anybody by Christmas,
We're gonna give it up in a week. He's
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. She's like, no. He's like, yeah. He's
Christmas.
Like, no. Like, yeah. He's like, all right, Christmas. She's like, what? And he's like, it's just 2 weeks and a couple days. It's perfect. We can't give him up before Christmas.
that's
Like,
right. Yeah, it's Christmas."
yeah. Good deal, dude. Because everybody knows your mom's not gonna make you give this dog up
On Christmas.
on Christmas.
That was pretty smart, actually. I
Yeah.
gotta say.
And then
Hey,
the
we
dog,
said he was depressed. We didn't say he was stupid.
the dog is like super awesome and can like climb the lattice work and go into his room at night
And steal the
sleep
paper.
under the bed. I was going to that. He steals their paper every morning, which makes sense
Because he hates
because
the newspaper.
he got beat by a newspaper.
I just thought he was against the printed word was his big thing. He's
yeah,
like,
well,
I'm not-
he knows the press is full of shit.
Yeah, I'm not letting these ideas.
He's like, they're
ruin.
captured.
Yes, got him.
These Northwestern ideas.
Don't read. Oh my gosh, the Northwest, Portland. Woo-hoo. He probably lives in the autonomous zone.
Jesus.
Let's not go back there.
The Decepticon zone?
It's nostalgia laid out.
Autobots, roll out.
Getting real political around here.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We're good.
It's all right, baby. It's cool.
It's cool. I mean, unless you want autonomous zones, and then hey, more power to you.
When you said autonomous zone, I heard Autobot zone. So it was just
The Autobots.
Autobots,
Yeah.
roll out.
So the dog inadvertently becomes the mascot for the Timberwolves because they go to he goes to a game
In their first game,
the first game of it, right?
He gets out and finds out, like, chases the car.
Yeah.
And then
Because
he
that
sees,
could happen.
Right. If he can climb the lattice work.
That's a fast dog.
A dog can smell.
Chasing the scent.
He's
Chasing
like-
the
Argue with
snack
that.
pads.
And he hears the
Chasing
basketballs.
snack packs is
He
what
hears
it
the
is.
basketballs.
Yeah.
So he gets in to the stadium, or the stadium, the
gym.
arena.
It's a
Yeah,
gym.
it's a gym.
Yeah.
It's a building. And basically just runs around and hits the ball around. And Josh grabs the ball and he's like, buddy, no. And
Yeah.
he hits the ball out of his hands and it goes into the net.
Yeah.
The best
and
part,
everybody freezes.
the best character in this whole movie is the fat referee.
Yeah. The fat referee and the lady that's like super pumped.
The principal?
Yeah.
Is that the principal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's like, he's going to do it every game after halftime.
And Josh is like, it's a secret.
No.
It's a secret.
Dad.
It's
No.
Espresso.
no.
Can't do that. You're taking my joy from me.
It's
But
just
then,
my,
so
this
it's
is my
at that
thing.
part when they find out that the dog can play basketball, and the principal lady
And they
goes
also
with them, and she's talking about like, oh, he'll do it at halftime.
Oh,
It'll be
gosh,
awesome.
dude.
Everybody will come out to see it. And then the dog runs away,
And they
he's
find
like,
out that the
he's
coach
like,
is a
buddy,
child."
hey, come back. And they chase it, and they find the coach in the gym.
No,
it's the dad's. It's the
No,
dad.
no.
It's not. He's
No,
not
it's the coach. It's the coach.
No, it's the coach.
Because this
And
is why
he's-
the coach gets fired.
He's beaming passes at the kid
Stewart.
that dropped the ball in the game.
Yeah.
And he says, you'll catch it. You'll catch it. You'll catch it.
never
And he's-
drop another
yeah.
ball again.
You just do that.
So then, the principal walks in. What's going on here? And he's like, we're just doing a little drill. And she's like, you're fired.
It's
You're
bleeding.
Yeah. This poor kid is just being abused by his junior high school basketball
Because he
coach.
dropped a pass.
Man, I'm on the fence though that it was that kid's dad, and I can't remember if it was the coach.
No,
though.
it's the coach.
I'm on the fence.
It's
on
the
that.
coach
this
because
is
that's
what-
what gets him fired.
That's what gets him.
And,
And
this
that's
is
how-
when the
and
Arthur
that's why-
Cheney. Yeah.
comes in and coaches.
Because I thought it was that. Okay, and then he cuts him, and then that kid's dad goes with him to the next.
Okay,
town
here.
Correct.
team?
So no, look. So then it's the dorky kid that ends up becoming friends with the main character
Josh.
who owns Buddy.
Who
Man.
That's getting the ball.
steals trash.
Yeah, loves it.
yes,
They're definitely
We'll
in
get there.
Seattle. Okay, I
Yeah,
know
we'll get
they're in
there. We'll get
Seattle.
they're in
now.
But
Seattle
so-
because
So the kid that becomes friends with him is the kid who's getting the balls thrown at him.
Jeez.
The main star of the basketball team gets benched by Arthur Cheney in the
Yeah.
next game.
Okay.
The dad freaks out, and that's why he takes his son,
Come
a
on,
star
Larry.
player,
All
to
right.
some other school.
We're
to-
leaving.
I was getting my white kids confused.
Yeah, it's easy.
The bowl cuts were just too much.
They all look the same.
Oh, Larry's got
Like,
like a mullet though.
Dude, the one, he's got a bit of a mullet, but like the one kid that keeps stealing everybody's gum,
Yeah.
keeping it in his socks.
You picked all his hair up on top of his head and you shaved all the way up under it. So he basically had like the reverse Friar Tuck.
Dude, yes.
But then you let it fall again.
his hair didn't touch the top of his ears.
No.
All they
That's
did-
how high that ball
All they
was.
did was put the mom couldn't find the big popcorn ball, so she
big
got the
one.
tiny popcorn ball.
She's like a cereal
She
bowl.
cut around that. Yeah.
Did you ever get the bowl cut?
I'm sure I did.
I'm sure there's a
We all had
photo.
the Jonathan Taylor Thomas back in the day.
That's
With like
right.
the
the JTT,
Yeah.
the swoops, the butt part in the middle
Yep,
there.
still
Yeah,
can rock that if I want to.
100%.
so they make Arthur Cheney
it
the
or go.
coach, and then they start winning because
Yeah.
And you know
they're
how they
not-
make Arthur Cheney the coach? The random kid with the dog is like, I have an idea. They don't like do a hiring process.
no, because we all listen to you, Dead Died Child.
Yeah,
What
well,
else do you want?
We don't want you to get all
If you
espresso depresso
if you
again.
leave schools, then our halftime show is out the window.
It's true. Nobody will care about the basketball team if your dog leaves.
We need you. But didn't the star kid that got cut and left? I heard the line that he moved. Like
Yeah.
they sold
Yeah.
the house and moved to another school
Oh, there's
district.
plenty of parents in this town that move all around so that their kids who are
You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You
But
don't
back
have to
when we
because
were
you have the
kids,
choice.
did.
But yeah, and I remember kids that like their grandmas or their
Yep.
grandparents lived in the so they would go sleep at their grandma and grandpa's for like 3 nights out of the week or something, so they could say, yeah, he lives here.
Yeah.
enough to attend those schools.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew a lot of kids who did that. Yeah,
It's true. Now you can just
Anyways.
do whatever. Go
Yeah, now
wherever.
you have it's called like your choice or something.
It's called gentrification.
in Dade County gentrification.
I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Woo!
Well, so they
All right,
bring in
yeah.
Arthur Cheney, and he starts with mime basketball, and that freaks out the good kid because he's like, "Where's the ball? This is a real ball." He's like, "You missed the pass."
Very good, but you didn't have the ball.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
That's the one. You didn't have the ball.
We always like to try. I always like to try and pick a wet noodle, and
Who was it?
it's either Arthur Chaney or the main character. I couldn't decide.
Well, Josh has dead dad. So can't be done.
Yeah, but not in real life. Like,
No, but he's doing a good job of acting like
doing
he
it.
would.
no, but when he becomes like a cheerful, like espresso depresso, and he just becomes espresso, he doesn't actually do a good job anymore. You know, it's not
It could be the fat kid on the basketball team.
Could be. The
kid
one that
doesn't
just
have any lines.
just fouls out. That's all he does.
It's all it does is
I
foul
think he
out.
fouls out twice in the movie.
No,
in
it's-
two
You
different
only see
games.
3 full games. He fouls out twice.
And that kid was acting like day one was acting like he was hot
It-
shit on the court. Like he was
Well,
dunking
He was
on
getting
kids or
carried
something,
by
right?
the
was
two black
just-
guys and Larry.
Take hot out of there, and you got it. It's just shit.
He just knew how to pass to Larry really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
no.
draw fouls.
So they start winning games.
Or
They start
commit 'em.
getting their headliners in the paper.
All right.
They get to
Buddy's making half-court basketball
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah, for
And then
every halftime.
At like the state semifinal, they have it filmed for like the local news, and they're like a
Yeah.
basketball playing dog, and
yeah, because he gets some notoriety.
the
And
the
then
clown
and then
is
Sweeney Todd sees him.
actually it's Sinead Blay.
Yeah.
So he's
Oh, man,
he
was that
had
another
just
clue,
made
though?
like a big plate of like baked beans, I guess, and he
Yeah,
sees it
That's
on
a total
TV,
serial killer move.
and he,
Like just sit around
No,
eating baked
the
beans.
cereal-
And I bet he like holds his fork like this.
Yeah.
no,
scoops
but
it like
the,
that.
not, it's
but
not
the-
even like in a bowl. It's
the
on a
real
plate.
the
It's
real
just that
serial killer
sliding
move
in.
though is to just eat them out of the can, like
yeah,
not even heat it up.
Maybe.
I get you. Yeah,
Like
not
the-
even heating
like
up.
the kid, like Christopher Lloyd in Dennis the Menace.
It's true.
Like cold ravioli.
What you eating there, sport?
Terrifying.
What you eating there? Bark.
So he sees the dog on TV, and all of his food just like slides on his foot.
Yeah. Gets real.
So he comes.
Shit gets
so
real
he comes
real
to their freaking house, and I'm surprised he doesn't get pepper sprayed by Josh's mom.
Never would have done it.
'Cause he
Never
just
would
like
have.
walks up into their yard and like shows her papers, and
Yeah.
Josh walks outside with the dog, and the dog's like, "Arr," and Josh is like immediately just goes, "No!"
Yeah. No, but Michael Jeter plays a really psycho, like because
yeah.
he walks up behind this mom, and he like does that thing. He does that kind of head tilt, look at her, kind of motion, and then when she turns around and realizes that hey, there's some dude who's not like doing normal social cues, like excuse me, like
Yeah, but
sorry to bother you or
What are
anything.
you doing? What are you doing in her backyard, there, guy?
Yeah, he waits till he's 5 feet behind her, and she just like kind of feels like somebody's presence and turns around, and he does that thing where he goes, "Oh hi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how are
He's
you?"
the
Very
only
Steve
southern.
Urkel feeling.
He's the only southern accent
Yeah.
in Seattle, Washington.
That's my dog.
Old Blue, because I saw a
Whipper.
can of blue paint.
Yeah,
And I'm Old Blue.
blue. Yeah. By the
But,
way, is your dad dead?
Is your husband dead?
Actually,
Does your boy need a father?
now that you mention it.
He can. There's a way he can keep this dog.
Yeah, he can keep this dog. Maybe we're gonna work something out. That's just the level of creepy
So anyway,
this guy goes to.
he shows them papers on the dog, and the mom's like, sure.
Papers.
Got him by the ball.
What
He-
name is on the papers
Yeah,
for
he
the
couldn't-
dog?
He couldn't think of the dog's name.
Yeah. Be like Blue. It says here is Brian. Why did you name the dog? Why'd you call him Blue? How's his nickname?
I have
And who names
Alzheimer's.
the dog Brian?
Yeah.
Well,
Family
Peter.
Guy. Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
Well,
Peter.
he named himself because he could talk.
yeah.
Me llamo es Brian. Actually, it's just me llamo Brian.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, you speak English? Nope, just that sentence and this one explaining it.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Family
then,
Guy.
so he takes the dog, and then Josh decides he's going to go to the creepy clown man's house
And break the dog
steal
out.
the dog back. And for some reason, the dude lives in
A van?
a straight up mud puddle.
Down by the roof.
Just a straight up mud puddle. There's
Yeah.
not a blade of grass,
Nothing.
not a weed,
That's
nothing.
how,
It's just
that's how you know he's a man.
yeah. He
Like-
just keeps it sprayed
He-
down.
Yeah,
so
He
it
on
lives-
stays
outside.
mud.
He lives as if somebody built a house in a trailer park.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the boondocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like out on the hey, that's you just went a little too far.
Yeah.
Like just
Like-
that 10 steps too far, and then you built right
Oh,
there.
he forgot to make that left.
He didn't
forgot
build
to
his
make that
house
left.
upon the
He
rock.
zigged when he should have zagged.
He didn't build his house upon the rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, jeez.
But
So he
he
goes in
finds
there,
the dog.
And the guy's on the phone with the
Budweiser.
Budweiser talking to, he's like, I don't know if I want my
I
dog.
don't want my dog doing beer commercials.
It's not a good look for him. You
Now,
know,
if it was
trying to be
Natty
family
Light,
friendly.
we'd be talking a totally different story.
True.
The best part is he's saying that as he has a stack of beer cans
And he's adding
to it.
drinking a beer.
Yes, and they're all Bud Lights, and I was like, man, Bud Light really saw profit in this movie.
Or Bud Heavy.
Yeah,
Oof.
they're Bud
Gross.
Heavy. Yeah,
So gross.
but no, yeah. So he basically the kid kidnaps the dog. He steals property,
And then he
it's
runs
like,
out.
If you don't, even if you don't like this guy, but it's still property.
Yeah, he
dude.
owns that dog.
He owns
That's his
that
dog.
Dog, yeah, that's.
But Buddy doesn't like him.
yeah, but it's not okay.
So they
But he doesn't like
they well, and before this, the dog has started playing for the basketball team
yeah,
because
yeah.
they had a kid get injured. This is, oh no, that
No,
that
it's
hasn't
just
happened
the one
yet.
game.
It's
It's it's
the end.
the final game. They
But
only
anyway,
have-
he runs outside and he has Buddy tied to his water pipe because
Yeah.
not smart drug addict man. And when he tries to pull the dog back, the pipe bursts.
Yeah,
And then throws him in the mud, and then he just rolls around in the mud.
and this
Then
poor,
he tries to
this
get
poor
up.
Josh kid has never seen a leash before.
Yeah.
It doesn't know how to operate one. So
yeah.
I mean,
he
to his
instead
benefit,
goes to the master lock that he's trying to like break apart.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you could just like unclip that thing on his neck.
And we're
He's
out of and
free.
we're out of here, Scooter.
you know that whole thing around him that usually comes off
Scot free.
It's not well to do his skin.
And then you get like a man chasing a child
In a truck. And
literally
nobody
trying to
does anything about
run
it.
him down. And the people in the park having a picnic, and there's a
you
truck
see-
coming across the park.
Okay,
And almost murders those
Yeah.
two people.
almost murders them, but rightfully so. Because did you see the picnic they were about to have?
No.
All right. If you go back and freeze frame the picnic, it is the picnic of psychos. They have a salad bowl that I'm not like exaggerating. It's like this big.
Yeah, because they
filled
throw it in the air.
with salad.
Yeah.
And they're like two people. That thing was
They
going to
really
feed
like salad.
Yeah, it's all salad.
I like
It's
salad.
I like a lot of it. So get that Hidden Valley Ranch on
I
there.
like
Caesar.
I like salad.
They call me Caesar.
You ever seen
Augustus.
Benchwarmers? I give a
Yeah.
shout out my main salad girl, Pizza Hut. I like salad.
Yeah, so yeah,
But his car is like falling apart.
as he's going,
as he's
yeah.
chasing.
Yeah.
The door falls off when he goes to get in.
And,
And as he's driving, like crap is just like falling out of the bottom of the truck.
Like brakes and carburetors and like
then his
transmissions.
hood,
Like,
and then his hood pops up and he can't
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
So he's like got his foot out the drive.
he's
He
leaning.
turns into Ace Ventura.
Michael Juder really did save this movie because of that comedic act.
He's
Like
the
his
best
physical
part of the whole
acting, he
movie.
is the best part.
And
of this
in
movie.
Josh's defense, smart move by running onto a boat. Where
Yeah.
what are you gonna do now?
Well, and the ferry guy is like a super badass. You notice that dude?
Yeah.
He's wearing like this big black trench coat.
He looks like-
and he's like, just
He-
give me the fucking money, kid. Give me
he
the
looks
fucking
like
money.
he looks like he's in Peaky Blinders.
He does.
Yeah.
What a great show.
He goes.
I'll get on my boat, kid. I'll
man,
get you across there.
Josh's whole idea, which I thought he was going to just run away from him, but Josh's whole idea was go steal the dog,
Well, the kid's
Drop-
actually smart, yeah.
drop the dog off in the wilderness, and hope it lives. It is, I mean, this is the Pacific Northwest.
If I
He would
can't
come back
if I
every
can't
day
have
with
you-
snack packs, and we all know it.
And then
Well, no, he
go to his
he
basketball
paid,
game.
He paid the Peaky Blinders guy to look
Yeah.
after the dog.
He's like, hey, dude, I'm going to come by every day and
Yeah.
just drop off some snack packs. You take them over there.
If you can just leave him on the shore, that'd be great.
He'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
He'll find him.
And
Don't open
this
them.
basketball.
If you open them, he will come.
Yeah, but he's smart because it's like a Harry and the Hendersons situation
Yeah.
where you can't take him home.
Can't keep
because
him.
the guy knows where you are and you're a child. You can't like
But what was going
disappear.
to stop
And you're
that
a
guy?
child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what was going to stop that
And
guy
your da-
afterwards?
and
Just
your
be like,
dad
all right,
can't
I'll
help you."
just find him at his house, and then I'll
Right.
sue this whole family for stealing my
He's
dog.
like, I
talking
don't
about-
have your dog.
Prove it.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like the kid was at my house and took my dog.
Prove it.
Well, he's in the newspapers.
Prove it.
All right.
You don't have surveillance.
Yeah,
you
I
live in
don't-
a van down by the river.
No, you live in a hut on stilts.
And this was 1997.
In
Yeah.
Off the rock.
Man, you could get away with a lot of stuff when there wasn't CTV camera and nobody had Ring doorbells and shit
Yeah.
on their phone. You could get away with so
Yeah,
much.
he may want to sue Josh, but after he gets sued by every person he almost killed
on the way there, including giant salad bowl people.
Yeah, especially giant salad bowl
They would
people.
at least be able to sue him for at least $300 worth of lettuce.
And
the amount of salad in that
and
bowl.
you know that wildlife conservation people are coming after him because his dingy ass truck's now at the bottom of that lake.
Bottom of that lake. You're right.
And it's definitely not EPA compliant.
I wouldn't agree.
Well, good thing he had that giant clown head on there. It saved his life.
It's true.
That's
floated
right.
on
He's
it.
floating on it. So they go back to the big game, and he leaves Buddy in the wilderness to fend for himself with bears.
They figure out Larry has transferred to the team they're playing.
Yeah.
And they're getting their ass kicked.
Yeah.
And the fat kid fouls out
Again.
And then the other kid, he sprains his ankle.
Yeah, he gets hurt.
Got hurt.
So now they're down to 4 because they brought 6 to the dance.
Because they only brought 6. That's my point. They only put 6. Then what bullshit was this coach talking about in the beginning of this movie? He was like, I only need 1 for like what, a 5-6 man roster.
That's right.
And it was like we got a backup. When one of them's tired, the backup will jump in.
These 2 brothers moved away. I need 1 person to
just
replace
need
them.
1.
What?
No,
you don't do good math.
So I'm looking for a couple of winners.
That's why you're teaching gym, isn't
That's
it,
right.
bud?
Those who can't teach gym.
Those that can't do, teach. Those that can't teach gym. I'm just jealous. But so then you just hear like, come here, get that dog. And Buddy runs in clean. Didn't have to jump back in that lake again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
No, then you see, I would have loved it. Wait.
You know that Peaky Blinders guy went back over there.
That's what I wanted to say. That's what I want to say. I just want to say, like, you see Josh, like a little hand of money, human hand of money going to the Peaky Blinders guy, boat driver, and then a little paw of money comes over.
Either that or like, and it's like a snack pack.
Yeah. Take me back.
And then the paw takes a snack pack.
A snack pack and cigarettes.
You can help me shave my armpit.
It's like, did you see at the Oscars where they had the dog in the audience in the Oscars, and they put the camera on the dog and they put little paws up like it was clapping?
No, the best dog. The best dog ever is Triumph the Insult Comic Dog from
Isn't that
Conan.
Eminem?
That's true.
No, he did a song with.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, no, it's a comedian on Conan.
Yeah, Conan.
Oh man, so we all know. So
Then they put the dog
big
in.
game, put the dog in because there's no rules.
No, there's no rule in there said dog can't play basketball.
Ain't no rule says dog can't play basketball.
And he's on the team roster.
Yep,
because he travels with the team.
Practices travels with the team.
Yep.
Let him play. He goes out there and he dominates.
Yep.
Don't just look at the dog. Cover up.
This was the funniest thing that John Oliver went into about this. He's like, the dog had 4 points, 2 field goals, and
2 free
like
throws.
3 steals.
Had a couple free throws.
And that's it. That's no stat line.
That's it.
And nobody covers the damn dog like the whole time. It's really funny if you want to look it up on YouTube.
I love that line too. He's like, somebody cover the dog.
Yeah.
My mother could cover that dog.
It's like, what are they gonna do? Just like get in front of the dog.
Well, they tried, and then they foul him.
Yeah,
he goes to
that's
the free
right.
throw line.
Oh,
And
man.
the best part is the fat referee's like, "What do I do?" And then just toss it to him, I guess.
Yeah. That fat referee, you're right. He saves the movie a lot of this because his reactions to this, because like the dog bites the ball or something like that,
They're
and
like
he gets like that
for a
sticky,
jump ball.
like
Yeah, and he's like,
It's
"Give me the
slobber.
ball."
goop and slobber.
And then he's walking away,
all
and he
that
like
stuff,
slips on.
Yeah. It's the funniest character in the movie.
Yeah, he's the best character. Well,
And then Larry gets his comeuppance because he gets the ball, and then Buddy just full on nut checks.
oh, that's right.
Because that's not a foul to hit somebody in the ball.
No, because the dog hit him.
And then Josh hits the game-winning shot, and then the guy comes to take his dog back. Because obviously,
this is very weird too, and John Oliver points it out, and I felt the same way watching the movie. Was what the hell are we doing? Because they should have ended it like they should have given the dog to the kid.
Yeah,
the kid gets the dog back. He plays in the final game, and the movie ends with them winning the game.
The shot, and they win the game.
No, they win the game, and then the movie continues on for 20 more minutes into the court scene.
Because we got to have a court
we
hearing.
get a little episode of Law and Order there.
Although you do get that judge who's good.
The judge is hilarious.
The judge is good.
Yeah,
he keeps
he's
hitting
fantastic.
the gavel, and every time he hits the
And
gavel,
saying
the dog
speak.
barks.
Yeah.
And then he speaks. And
Speak
then
up.
He has to keep changing his whole
You may address the court.
Will
Yes.
somebody please suppress that dog?
Yeah, suppress that dog. But they decided in the weird. I was like, is there any real like? Do they do this with kids or anything or actual dogs? Like, where they're like, which parent do you want to live with?
It's the story,
Go, honey, come here.
It's
Like,
the story from the Bible.
Yeah.
Cut the kid in half.
That's right. Just give it to both.
You know what? Just give it to him.
Yeah, it's fine.
Save the dogs. Okay, you get the dog. Because you didn't want to kill it.
Stupid. Shouldn't have wanted to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's funny how he's like, I've got papers, and he holds up like a Ziploc bag of trash, basically.
Pink
and
latex.
It's like, you ain't got no papers.
You shouldn't have had them in your pocket when you chased the kid for the dog.
Right. He's just declaring, I got papers. Good job.
When you tried to kill the child and several other people.
Yeah.
Maybe first point of order once you got that dog back should have been to laminate those papers. That guy.
You know what would have been great? Is if like
he died.
No, in the
he drowned.
If he died,
never came up.
Dead guy.
Never came up with
you just see like a hand sinking into the water. Now they both have
dead dads.
Yeah,
that's how they bond.
Just I'll do it for the camera. Just the hand sinking into the water.
That's right.
Slowly.
No, I was gonna do.
He holds up the papers for the dog.
No, I was gonna do this. I was gonna do the.
Yeah. Oh,
I've got papers.
No.
I've got papers.
Yeah, I got papers.
But anyway, he comes to the courtroom dressed as a clown.
Yes.
Because he's a dumbass.
And the judge is like, we're not going to make a circus.
Some type of circus. Yeah. And he walks in and then he goes, who the hell are you?
I would have loved it if in the audience of everyone, of the whole town that came out for this jury trial, if there was just one little quick cut over to a group with the broken salad bowl. Just
all cut up.
Yeah.
like leaves and stuff. Like they never changed clothes or showered. They just been laying in the park with a broken salad bowl.
And they'd have been upset.
Or they're impaled by the salad bowl. Like, I can't take this out of me. They say if I remove it, I'll bleed out and die.
This is it. This is my life now.
This is how we live.
But who has the bright idea to let the dog choose? Is Arthur Chaney.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he's like, who are you? And he's like, Arthur Chaney, Your Honor. Arthur Chaney? New York Knicks?
Yeah.
66?
56?
Yeah.
I was at that game against the Celtics, so you had to turn around and tell me, spilled beer all over my wife.
Yeah. And then they go outside, and for some reason there's a small stage built for the judge.
You got to have it.
And he sits in his judge chair.
I feel like this town does a lot of these. I feel like there's a lot of disputes about, it's my chicken. No, it's not.
I got papers.
I got papers.
They play a lot of tug of war.
Yeah. That judge is sitting on his throne. Sorry, Tyler, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And then they decide they're going to let the dog decide because of Arthur Chaney who he wants to go to, because it's dog's man's best friend, Your Honor. Why not let the dog decide who he wants to be friends with?
I mean, solid logic.
Yeah, and then
solid.
For some reason the dog is retarded and just like sits in the middle forever as like his friend and like best buddy is calling him. And then the guy who beat him all the time is like, hey, get over here.
The best are the people behind them when you're watching this thing, because it'll cut to Josh and it's like, yeah. And then you cut to him and he's calling, and people behind him are like, no, go that way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But the clown ultimately, he thinks, oh, you know what? He loves it when I beat him with these newspapers.
He's going to threaten him.
I'm going to take out a newspaper and just start whapping it. No one else is going to notice that.
That's cheating. Can Josh use a snack pack?
Yeah. They should have. But the dog runs up, he grabs the newspaper out of the owner and then tears it up and then goes
and
over
hauls
to Josh.
ass to Josh. That dog's dead sprint back
I do
to Josh.
remember watching that as a kid and being like, no, bud, don't do it. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they got you there. They tugged on your heartstrings.
The best part of that whole thing, though, is when he tries to like rush the dog and they have to go in and like drag him out.
As soon as this happens, the clown basically decides he's just going to murder Josh and take his dog back.
Yeah.
And the judge is like, get him out of here. And like 3 of the
Cops.
most Barney Fife cops in the whole world come out of nowhere. One of them, a lady who can barely walk herself. She's so rotund.
Oh, I didn't notice
they
them.
like carry him out. She's not that big, but she's like short and not in shape. She's not in shape, and she's trying to hold on to this guy, and he's not a large man, and she's struggling. But
He's about $1.50. Maybe.
He ends up basically getting arrested. Trying to get his dog back from. Yes. And I'm like, good.
It would have been better if he like tried to pull out a gun, like a clown gun, and shoots it, and then it like a little bang comes out. Like, did you just try to murder this kid over a dog?
And then he got arrested for attempted murder on the salad bowl people.
Yeah, the salad bowl people cheering like
100%.
both pieces of the salad bowl. Like,
and one's bleeding out because he took the salad bowl piece out of himself.
Yeah, justice.
Worth it.
and then
Worth it.
and then you get the majestic shot of them running down the autumn sidewalk with all the leaves falling.
Yeah, this
I mean,
music.
it is beautiful.
We're gonna play just like we used to.
Yeah.
Or just like we always do.
Man, but this music sounded like Homeward Bound to me. It was like do 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 do.
Is it the same golden retriever? Is it Shadow?
Oh no,
No, because
no.
Shadow's like reddish.
Yeah, and that was 92 Homeward Bound.
Yeah, that dog was dead.
Yeah, that's part.
Dead
Dead.
That's a dead dad.
dead dog.
It's only like 2 years.
Yeah, but Shadow was old as shit.
Yeah,
but,
that's a dead dog.
I did think that was fun that Comet from Full House is at least in a few of the episodes.
It was a couple. Was
Buddy.
Airbud? It was Bud. Was
Yeah.
Airbud. Well, man,
And this spawned
It's the one
like
where they play basketball with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And this spawned like the Bud cinematic universe.
Yes, this
Bud-
spawned the worst movies of all
we're
time.
in phase 1. This was phase 1, and then phase 2.
This
Here,
was their Iron Man.
This
I
is
got
Buddy
the
the
whole
first Avenger.
I got the whole list of it. Okay, so there was Airbud, Golden Receiver.
Oh, Jesus.
Clever.
Thank God. Airbud,
Thank God.
World Pup. Airbud, 7th Inning Fetch.
Funny, we're gonna come back to that in a second because there's a YouTube video I want to direct everybody to.
Okay. Airbud Spikes Back, where his companion is
Plays
playing
volleyball.
volleyball.
Yeah.
And then you get this series of Snow Buddies, which is all little puppies, Airbud, which my daughters have watched. There's Air Buddies, Snow Buddies, Space Buddies, Santa Buddies, Santa Paws, Spooky Buddies, Treasure Buddies, Santa Paws 2, Super Buddies, and then they also you might like Beethoven, Homeward Bound 2, and MVP, which is with the chimp. Anywho, so yeah, this was their phase 1 of the Airbud
of the Bud cinematic universe.
Yeah. So
What do Space Buddy like? What is he doing?
It's the Russian dog Cosmo from Guardians.
no, it's the puppies go to space. The golden retriever puppies, for some reason, are sent to space.
Okay, so you guys have not watched.
No, haven't watched it. We had
Have
just
you
know
seen
they're
any
making
of these
a lot
other
these.
movies?
No.
I watched part of World Pup, which is the soccer
one?
which made more sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense than him playing football or baseball.
And there's a hilarious
I think baseball
clip.
makes the least amount of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't hold a bat.
No. There's a hilarious
Football,
clip.
I mean, if the ball's small enough, he can catch it.
yeah.
But it isn't. They're not going to use a smaller ball for the dog.
He's in like middle school, dude. Small ball.
Like, okay.
There's a great clip on
Sure.
YouTube that goes around that's from Airbud, wide receiver, and it's him playing football.
You mean
and
wide
there's-
retriever?
Sorry, no, wait, I think it's wide.
No, golden retriever.
Golden retriever.
Golden
No.
receiver.
Receiver. Golden receiver.
Wow, we all
And-
fucked that up.
Thank God.
Thank God we're here.
think you're
I'm
hot
proud
shit
that I
'cause you
don't know
know
the name.
words.
I'm proud that I don't know the name of the Airbud movie.
Golden receiver, and like this kid flat out tackles him like a 250-pound
Smashes
kid
the dog's
just,
spine.
Yeah, just clips him like
Poor dog.
Like it's horrible. And like the dog's laying down on the ground, and like the paramedics come out. They're like, he's gonna be okay, but he's pretty roughed up.
Gonna be
Do
okay.
they take him out on the stretcher? Do
Yeah,
they
I don't
spray
know.
his
Just
like
leave
doggy
him
knee
there.
with the
It's
cold
fine.
spray?
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh God, the
Oh,
magic
God, so-
spray.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
in soccer where they're
Yeah,
like,
it's soccer.
Shh, okay, it's good. Get
Oh,
him
now
up.
he's fine.
Wait, you sprayed him with like keyboard cleaner. Like, why is he getting up now?
So there's a
All
YouTube
betters.
video called. There's a YouTube channel called Baseball's Not Dead, and he does this. He does a list of every movie where they show baseball scenes. So like he goes through like all the major leagues, like Little Big League, Rookie of the Year,
Yeah.
and he rates like the authenticity of the baseball scene in each movie. So like The Natural, Field of Dreams, all that stuff. And his number one movie, spoiler alert, if you're gonna watch this list, is Airbud. Whatever, 7th Inning Fetch or whatever
Yeah,
it's called.
yeah.
And you think he's joking at the end of that video. Then he makes a separate video telling you why he is not joking. This is
That
like
it's like the most accurate baseball.
because like outside of he's like you have to take the movie at its premise. So the premise is this dog is good enough to play baseball. So I have to throw that like Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to say that like medically it's not possible for a kid to throw 97 miles an hour.
Sure.
He's like I have to take the movie at face value.
Funky
but if you
butt
look
loading.
at like if you look at like the other baseball that's played in the film, it's like people that actually
How is it not Little Big League?
Little Big League's up there.
Okay.
But
There's two things where like there's great clips on like Vine and TikTok where like people will be like, it's like a dad sitting in the car after a game and just
Oh, yeah.
going like
Yep.
37 points, and the kid is like, he was really good.
Yeah.
It was a dog.
Yes, 100%. Like Larry is not getting back in the house.
Oh my gosh.
Larry's in that lake.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
No, he's got to go live with Schneebly or whatever.
That's the court
He's
order.
trying to put him in beer commercials.
Oh,
Yeah,
poor
that
kid.
guy. He's living in the mud.
What kind of money we talking about beer
He's
commercials?
chained to the porch under the guy's house.
Oh God. Totally
He's
different.
living in the yard.
Totally
he's not
different
like he's
sequel.
not like under the porch.
He's become feral.
Yeah. He just eats pudding pops.
Hey, water
or
boy.
That'd be
snack packs.
hilarious.
Hey, water boy, nice shot.
That'd be hilarious to create a alternate, or an expanded series universe around the Airbud movie. So like a movie
Of
about
the horror that Airbud
the horror,
that Buddy leaves in
that
his wake.
Airbud did, like a movie about what happened to the clown, what happened to the kid,
Edward Schneebly
what hap-
becomes Pennywise.
yeah, and then what happened to the salad people? Like how upset were they? Like
Well, they bled out. We talked about that.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They're fine.
They
That was
died.
Pennywise's first victim.
And
It's the
that's-
salad people.
Yeah. Oh well, we're here at the here at the hour. I did not think we were gonna get a full hour
Hell
out
yeah.
of Airbud.
Hell yeah.
But I'm really glad we did.
Hell yeah.
So is there anything else you want to share? Any other moments?
I just didn't want to forget to talk about the fact that the kid's dad is dead.
Oh, and
Did you forget in the movie? Oh,
I just wanted to bring it up. Just
where's
so we
your
didn't-
father?
Dead.
shit.
Dead dad.
And we forgot to talk about how that Stewart kid steals trash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to cut. So yeah, yes, he wants him to give Josh, the main character, a lucky charm so
Yeah.
that he's more comfortable playing in the game. And I believe the first thing that he pulls out is an orange peel.
Yeah, Scottie
Yes.
Pippen dropped
Scottie-
his orange peel at the
Scottie Pippen.
Sonics game.
And I picked it up. And then he goes into Sean Kemp's garbage and he pulls out like a used tampon or
No,
something. I don't know what it's always food related.
Condom.
it's juice. It's juicy fruit.
Even worse.
It's not a tampon.
It's not a used condom either. Oh gosh.
Yeah, but the best is when he's like, I
Who's
can't.
letting this kid get away?
I don't know,
with
but I
this?
love it when we take it just that little bit too far.
Josh looks at him when he hands him the orange peel, like, what the?
The hell
And he's like,
yes.
and he's like, don't worry, I pulled this out of
You know
Sean
who
Kemp's trash.
That kid's dad is the clown. He just doesn't know it.
That's the one. Yeah, it's the illegitimate child of the clown.
Hey,
of
Mom,
this
Josh's dad died. Where's my dad? Don't worry about it.
movie.
There's rumors that he became a clown.
It's rumored that he hates salad.
Yeah.
He absolutely despises the vegetarian community.
Have you ever met the head of lettuces? They live in the park.
Yeah.
I think they died during a court case a few years back.
God, yeah. So yeah, this,
Only one of them.
Yeah, when he pulled
bled
it
out.
out of himself.
this kleptomaniac kid who's stealing all these NBA players' garbage
Yeah.
and used. It's just
Can't even
gross,
call him a
dude.
kleptomaniac.
He's just like a hoarder.
He's a homeless man.
He's a vagrant.
Yeah.
Vagabond.
Vagabond.
Like we talked about
Dude.
last week, he's gonna get shot up with Haldol one of these days. Put in the back of a bus of an ambulance.
Here's a free hot sandwich.
That's right.
There you
You're
go.
gonna need a nap.
And on that note, thank you again for joining us for another episode of Nostalgia Land. Again, you can find us anywhere on social. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we got TikTok, and YouTube, of course, please, as Tyler always tries to remind everyone, hit that subscribe, hit that bell.
A notification bell.
Please
Please comment.
Yes.
Yeah, we love
commenting.
when you guys comment. Did you guys catch? You weren't here for the episode, but we talked about Vámonos Muchachos
Vámonos, muchachos.
and how I was in the band, and
Yeah.
we talked about our beloved guitar player who is not the best speller, and he commented
Yeah.
on
He's
one
not.
of the YouTube. You gotta go check it out. You gotta go
That's
check it out.
I didn't
hilarious.
see that yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's commented a few times on some of our videos.
good.
He's one of my best friends.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's
he's
awesome.
It's very funny.
Well, we also got our Etsy shop, Nostalgia Land shop, on Etsy, and we had a couple. Actually, it was funny. I was just sitting here. I saw several people have been favoriting. Oh, we got a new item up that several people have been favoriting. It's there's a beer stein mug.
Oh, cool.
So I found a beer stein mug through that 90s jazz.
Everybody loves that shit.
Logo. I love that thing, man.
Me
It's
too.
so fun. I put it on
That's
a
what
jacket.
I mean. Everybody loves it.
I need to buy a lot of that stuff. It's so
It's
fun.
like Microsoft Paint when you use the spray paint feature.
That's right. That's probably how it was made.
And then the
remember
line
the
feature.
other week I brought up Taylor Mullins Flores'
He found a turtle.
yeah, dude, he totally I think it was wrapped in one of his trap lines. Or
was
it
like
may
a
have just
buoy.
been like random rope. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
It looked like they were like rope off a buoy.
I was watching, like, I had it on and I was at work, so I couldn't like keep the volume too high. I didn't want to be rude to my cubicle mate at work.
Yeah.
And but he totally cuts this little turtle free. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So give him a check out. Taylor Mullins Flores on YouTube.
On YouTube. Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for joining us. As always, I'm Matt.
Trey.
And I'm Tyler. Cowbunga. Don't watch Airbud.